What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Ghost. I'm coming to you from inside my truck. I'm actually sitting here waiting for my driver to get here to pick up some straps so he can go grab his next load, and I can go home and shower and do my hair and get freshened up for this Saturday. But I'm dropping this video to, add on to the 1 point, I'm gonna call this one 1.5 of part one of my 7 years in trucking, my leap of faith, because I really did take a leap of faith into this industry. And it's a backstory of why I pulled the trigger and how I pulled the trigger on it. So before I went to Roadmasters, this is what happened leading up to it. So like I said before, I was a therapist for LA County probations, and I basically serviced LA County. Mostly it was just LA County, but I had, certain San Bernardino County kids that I would deal with that were on my caseload. And I remember just having to do the camps and the juvenile halls and the group homes and just the residential facilities and the nut houses, mental institutes and all that. All that was cool, but I wanted more. I wanted to be able to, my uncle, for example, he was with the state. He was with corrections. He did extraditions with inmates. He would fly all over the country, pick up, inmates from all over the country. I mean, he literally flew everywhere, picked up inmates to bring them back to California. So he used to tell me stories about that, and I liked it. I was like, you know what, I'm trying to do something like that too. But back then, in between I would say 06 and 2010, California was going through financial issues, and we had a big ass hiring freeze on just anything that dealt with the state, with the county. California, the recession hit us hard. So we were in hot water back then. So I was like, well, I got in with LA County, and I wanted to do that, but since we had so much going on, I couldn't get into it at the time. But I just went with what I could get my foot in, which was the county. So I got in with LA County, and a position opened up that was similar to what my uncle does. And it was basically where my caseload would not only be for LA County, it would be for San Bernardino County, Ventura County, Riverside County, San Diego County, Kern County, just all the counties in this state. And also it was parts of Arizona, parts of Vegas too. So I was all pumped up, and I was all stoked about this position and open up, because it was an internal thing. They hired from within. So I'm like, yeah. And everybody was telling me man, you're the perfect candidate for this. You need to do this. And not only was it just a good position, it paid more. So now I'll be making close to almost $100,000 a year doing this, and that's without overtime. So I'm like, cool. Hold on, this train is coming by. Roll my window up. It's kind of loud. So it was my thing. To me, that was my calling. That's what I truly wanted to do. And I felt like the door had opened up and my opportunity was here. So I needed to, jump on it. And I basically applied. I set myself up with the interview with the lady that was over it. Callie, if you don't stop headbutting me. I basically set myself up to go to this interview and start this process. All right, look, you gotta go, Callie, go. Can you get Callie? Move, Callie. Sorry about that. So I set myself up with this, with the position, with the interview. So the interview came, and it was I killed the interview. I showed them, my credentials. Showed him, I was the man for this position. I mean, I got all suited and booted, put on a nice Versace tie, and I was ready to go. I killed the interview, and everybody was just like, you know what? You got it. This is you. I was all happy. And I remember going home after the interview and talking with my uncle. And I was telling him about it, like, yeah, I'm about to be doing kind of like what you were doing, but on, a smaller scale. And he was just like, telling me like, yeah, that would be good for you and blah, blah, blah. He's like, you'll love it. You'll get to travel more and it'll just be the thing for you. So I'm like, cool. I'm pumped up. I'm stoked. I'm ready. And it didn't happen. I ended up going back into work, and I saw that the position was no longer available and the position had been filled. So everybody's like, oh man, any minute now they're gonna come tell you that you got it. Here you go. Here's when you can start and blah blah blah. So that announcement never came. And I remember going up to the lady that was in charge of it, and I asked her like, hey, what happened? Like, what happened to the position? And they're like, oh, they gave it to another actually a house manager that basically he was under investigation for, it was either child assault or child abuse or sexual assault or something. He was basically under an investigation, and they were going to basically take him out of his position and put him, and they were either going to fire him because of, I guess, these allegations and these claims that were placed upon him. So what they did was they took him, because he had been there like damn near 20-something years. They took him from that position and put him in a position that was supposed to be for me. And they gave it to him. And then they just told me, well, I mean, you'll have to, good luck. And instantly, that, when I say it broke my heart, and it truly made me look at the system so much different after that. Because, I mean, one thing about the justice system that I've learned, it's a lot of corruption in it. And, I mean, I have plenty of stories, like, man, so many, about, different situations and just people being, especially kids being convicted of stuff that they didn't do, and just the whole 9 yards. And it was like, when that hit me, it hit me like a ton of bricks. When I say that was just the worst day of my life, like, I felt like all my dreams and stuff had gotten snatched up and taken away and given to the bad guy. So I was like, you know what? F this. I was so pissed. I went to the higher up. Like, I went to like my supervisor, and I just went off. And I was like, man, and I was just straight up and real. And I told him, like, I really need to talk to you. Like, I'm just about to be completely honest and just straightforward with you. And I just told him straight up, it's messed up how y'all could take a effing pedophile, put him in a position that y'all knew was for me. I was like, I'm the more qualified person. I got degrees. I got this. I got that. And he sat up there. He listened to everything that I had to say. And he told me, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm just going to be real with you. It's not about who you know, or it's not about what you know and what you have. It's who you know in this business. And he was like he was saying, I mean, it is what it is. He's got more seniority. He knows more people. And that's just what it is, People look after their own. That's what he told me. And he was just like, at the end of the day, he's like, we had to look after our own. And I was just like, wow, for real? So it's really like that. And I'm like, that's how it is? I was like, all right, cool. So if we looking after our own, then I'm going to just have to look after myself then. And I remember telling him, like, well, if that's how it is, and I'm like, I've given y'all so much, I'm good. So I went home that night, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm starting Roadmasters on Monday. I remember telling my ex-wife that, and I pulled the trigger on it. And that's what, caused it, which is suck, because it's like, yeah, when I was hurt, because at the same time, it was like I told y'all, I had my business on top of what I did for work. So it was like, I was not only, doing the stuff with the kids, but I was helping families too. So if families needed cars, TVs, whatever they needed, I technically couldn't just up and give it to them or sell it to them. But I was in a position where I had started this company, and I had put people in certain places where, I could be like, well, I can't sell you this, I can't give you this, but you can call this number and this person can. And then, it's like me indirectly giving you my business, but me not giving you my business. So it was like I was making money not only doing what I was doing for my career, but at the same time I had my company too that was helping these people and giving back to the less fortunate. So to me, I was making money all the way around. And I'll get more into that in the videos to come, but that's what really made me pull the trigger and want to just jump into trucking, because I realized how cutthroat business was. Even though you work for law enforcement or an organization, at the end of the day it's still a business. People are still gonna look after who they want to look after. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed part 2 of my 7 years in this trucking game, and love, peace, prosperity, and I will see y'all in the next video. Deuces.